It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, WGNSSports.com, and BigGTV.
The Coach's Show is brought to you by Sir Pizza, whose 3 Murfreesboro locations offer a huge selection of mouth-watering pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and wings. Order your favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. Danny Brewer back with you. Man, I'm finding some fresh fried chicken right now because I got Ben Caudill, the head football coach at Stewarts Creek, with me now. Coach, how are you?
Doing well, Danny. Good morning.
Yeah, it's a lovely morning. We got wonderful weather, wonderful time of year right now, you know. I mean, we got football in full swing and cool mornings and warm days. It's pretty good out there.
Yeah, you know, definitely a great night last night for high school football. We had some, you know, power issues, didn't get our lights on until maybe about 7:05, and then midway through the first quarter our chains broke, and so we had to pull out our backup chains and had a little delay there, you know, got to host you know, really talented, very disciplined, well-coached football team in Riverdale, and you know, definitely had some bright spots, but certainly a lot to improve as well.
Well, Coach, I know things didn't necessarily go the way you wanted it to. Riverdale, 35-7, was the victor. But when we talk about playing these games, I mean, back in the district with teams like Riverdale and Oakland, I know it's a challenge, but it's better, don't you think?
Yeah, to me, I mean, it's you know, I grew up, you know, playing high school ball, and we had to travel 3 hours for a region game, you know, to Memphis or Knoxville, and you know, I believe in playing against kids you grew up with and played Little League baseball with and those types of things. And, you know, we got a lot of the looks we wanted and thought we executed, you know, really well at times. But also at times I think we looked at as undisciplined as we have since I've arrived at Stewarts Creek in 2019, you know, receivers not on the line of scrimmage, you know, away from the ball on a run play. And, you know, then we have a snap issue, you know, then we, you know, 3rd and 11, you know, when the score is, you know, still, you know, nothing, you know, we jump off sides. And then they complete it on 3rd and 6 and have a scramble play, you know, and we had a batted pass last night. You know, when it was 7-0, and I've never seen a batted pass go higher. And, you know, they picked that. Thought our quarterback made the right decision to go where he did, and just kind of how it happened. And, you know, just those types of things really hurt us. I think we had more penalties last night than, you know, probably in my entire tenure at Stewarts Creek, which is disappointing. But you know, all those things to say, Danny, you know, you're going to struggle against any team when you have that type of execution and when you're really competing against yourself as much as you are, you know, a very talented team like Riverdale. And so, you know, but at the same time, I think you've got to give them a whole lot of credit. You know, I think their quarterback, if I'm telling you, Danny, if you give him time, he's not going to miss. He had 3 or 4 throws last night that I thought we were in as good a position as we could be on some dig routes and on some in-breaking routes and on a wheel on their sideline where he just, you know, it's hard to defend a perfect pass. And he put several there right where they needed to be. You know, I think they've got several players on defense. You know, their junior safety, number 17, Fuquay, their Mike linebacker, Emmons, and their field outside linebacker, number 9, who's I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name correctly, but those are 3 tremendous football players. Coach Eddie Wood's son at D-line, you know, they're a really well put together team in all 3 phases. And unfortunately, we kind of battled ourselves a whole lot more than we needed to.
The mental mistakes, that's one of those things that can drive a coach crazy, you know, but it's things that you work on, and those are correctable. And that's good news, right?
Yeah, you know, they are. And, you know, just having our hands inside on a play where we gained 15 yards on our sideline and not holding. And, you know, we jumped off sides on a 4th and short. You know, we had a receiver jump off sides when, you know, we'd just taken a timeout and explained what we were going to do. You know, and they're trying to get it to half, you know, and that running back's very talented, but he broke one for 89 right before half when. To me, we're not getting off blocks the way we need to on the edge, and not taking the right angles, but at the same time, we challenged our guys to come out and compete in the second half, and I think we had 3 turnovers in the second half. We had a pick on a screen. Michael Colquitt made a very athletic play, against their starting offense. Then we had 2 scoops, both that went for 6, but one got called back. So I'm proud of how we played in the second half, and kind of just moved on from a first half that was very disappointing. But whenever you allow a team like Riverdale to basically you give them 14 points, and it's just going to be hard to compete against anybody, especially against a team like Riverdale.
No doubt about that, because they do bring a little something to the table. There's no doubt about that. Let's talk a little bit about depth. I think you've had a few injury problems. Developing depth, one of the keys for any football program, but talk about that.
Yeah, I think it's huge, and unfortunately 2 of the 3 times I've coached against Will, we've had to go, without, our starting quarterback. And, obviously whenever you have a senior, that's what you love to have, is a senior quarterback. And Jerry, and I'm telling you, Jerry has impacted our team in such a big way, these past few weeks, and I'm very proud of how he's handled, his situation. And RC's doing a great job. He's has the respect of our team. He was a starting receiver, before we, before he had to become our quarterback, and he's doing a great job, and I'm really proud of him. And that's not something that we're ever going to use as an excuse, or as a crutch as to why we, can't, execute on offense. I thought he made several great throws, great decisions last night, and we've got to help him more. We had multiple times where receivers ran the wrong route, and I've already mentioned some of the other issues we've had, and those are things that we've got to continue to fix, and we've got to take ownership of, and that's certainly my job. Not just on offense, but in all 3 phases. And, we've had some other guys emerge to carry the ball. Kingston McQueen's come on offense, and the last few weeks he's had to take on a more advanced role on that side. And, so that's huge, not just, in this county, but anywhere. You got to be able to have guys that, over the course of 4 quarters, especially when guys are playing both sides like we do, you got to be able to spread the ball around to multiple guys.
So when we talk about building things down at the creek, last year, fantastic year. Obviously, that means little this year. I mean, the success, winning breeds winning. We know all that kind of stuff. But talk about what you're trying to do there as far as building at the creek, and the positive steps that you feel like you've taken this year based on what happened last year.
Yeah, I think, number one is you're always building your culture, this team is the last 2 weeks, Danny, I feel like we've practiced as well as we have all summer, spring, and certainly better than the first 3 weeks of the season. And I think we're starting to just understand the importance of winning Monday through Thursday, and having the attitude of being coachable, and just there's so many different faces. Although we bring back a few guys, we're starting 5 sophomores. And there have been times where we, have maybe started 1 sophomore. And so, hey, what's great about this county is that, there's no caveat or asterisk next to those guys' names. Our fans, our community, they expect you to have them ready to go. And, that's my job, and that's our job as coaches, is to get these guys ready. And they're doing a great job and being super coachable. We've got to clean some things up in our operation. At times, Danny, we're our own worst enemy. We're not competing against the other colored jersey. We're battling ourselves too much. And but there's a whole lot of bright spots, that we can pull from. And the biggest thing is that our team is in our locker room and our staff room have never been better from a leadership and culture standpoint. And we've got to keep improving. The first 5 games are behind us. And, we got a whole lot of football left to be played. Last
night was last night. Next week is next week. You play at Laverne. Huge region game. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, going to Laverne, several great battles with them over the years. Obviously, they're a much different football team than they've been in the past this year with a new head coach, Coach Johnson. I've only had a few conversations with him, but have really enjoyed getting to know him. I know a whole lot of people that have known him for a while that speak incredibly highly of him. And, I know their offensive coordinator as well, have for years. And, they have a very athletic quarterback, very aggressive on defense. Going on the road. It's our second road game. We've already had 4 home games, Danny. And so, we're going to have to, go over there and have a great plan and execute. And I know our guys are excited. We kind of told them at halftime, listen, this is, how we really going to attack, the weekend and these next 2 quarters and next week. We kind of, just kind of put the first half to rest. And so, I'm very optimistic, and not just, being in the locker room after the game, I believe we had a really good look in our eye and good focus. And this is, as a leader, Danny, this, not just as a coach, but for those in our locker room, these are opportunities to lead. These are opportunities to, show your maturity, to have resolve, and to be a part of the solution, and to take ownership of all the things that we need to, and not, say, well, if this guy could do it. No, hey, we've all got to own the things we need to. And, so certainly a huge challenge with Laverne, but I also believe, the challenge within is something, that we're also continually focusing on.
The challenge within and be part of the solution. Love it, Coach. Love it. If you want to see some good football, it ought to be Hot Times at Laverne when the Creek goes to Laverne next Friday night. Coach Caudill, appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Danny.
The Coach's Show is brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Alex Williams, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.